Hello all, and welcome back to this series of mini lectures in Alias. Today we're going to talk about how we can manipulate surfaces using the control vertices with a little bit more of precision and systematic approach rather than just moving the CVs around. So what we see here are two surfaces, not very pretty. If I shade it up, which I've done, and take away the model, we can clearly see that there are some severe problems here. So something is wrong here. We need to find out why or what. So we bring back the model, we can see something fishy is going on in this corner right here. And sure enough, we can see that there is a gap between the surfaces. And probably also, once we fix that gap, a tangent error and possibly also a curvature error that we need to fix. And we are going to do that by manipulating the control vertices of this surface right here. So we turn those on and see what we have to work with. We also need to have a look at the CVs of the other surface. So we light those up as well. Now, most people use xform commands to manipulate the CVs of surfaces. Like this, you pick a CV and then you go xform move or scale or rotate or whatever, and you move it up and down like this. I'm going to show you now a tool located in the control panel at the very bottom. It's right here and it's called XformCV. So if we click that once, or we can double click it, we get a menu here of certain commands. I'm going to leave those for now and show you a kind of a hidden tool for working with the CVs, and it's hidden below the space bar of your keyboard. So if you have this menu activated and hit spacebar, this menu shows up. This is a menu specialized for working with CVs, and it follows you wherever you go. In the middle here, we have the selection part. We can either select single CVs. Let's go first to pick nothing. You can pick single CVs by hitting that one, letting go of the space bar, and then picking whichever CV you want to manipulate. Or you could, by hitting space bar, click on the other side here and pick an entire hull to manipulate. Like that. And a hull is a row of CVs, either in the U direction or the V direction, like that. Now, the first thing we need to do here is to fix the gap. And we are going to do that by making sure that this row of CV here have identical CV points for both surfaces. And we can see if we zoom in on this side, for instance, that we clearly do not. So they need to be moved. This side, they seem to be okay. So let's leave that one for now and start with the middle one here. And what we want to do is to move that CV right there to be identical to that point there. And for that purpose, we can actually use the common Xform tool. So what I do is I go pick CV, pick that one, go Xform move, hold down the control key, which snaps it onto points, and click somewhere near this point right here. So hold down the control and click, and voila, there we have it. Also, this CV belonging to the surface here, which is going under the other one here, needs to go there. So I do it the same way. I go pick CV, pick that one, go Xform move, hold down control, and snap it onto that one. Let's see what that did. we need an analysis going here. So we are going to use the evaluate continuity between surfaces. And we go G2, which is curvature continuity, and leave all those boxes checked and go. And then we click on the border between the surfaces and see what happens. So the first we see here is a yellow T. That means we have a tangency error between the surfaces. It also tells us that we no longer have a gap between the surfaces, because if we would have had a gap, this T would be a P instead for position. And then we would have had to fix the gap, which we did earlier here. But we see a quite severe tangency error of 4.5 degrees, and we need to address that. And we are going to do it by using this XformCVTool, hitting the space bar, and work with the control vertices. Now, in order to fix a tangency, or I'm going to explain some of the functionalities here in this outer menu first. So in the middle here, we have the selection tools. On the outer circle right here, we have the different kinds of movements we can make with the CVs. So if I, for instance, again, pick this CV right here and use the first tool. This one is movement along the coordinate axis, X, Y, and Z. Then I can move this CV right here by left-clicking the mouse. It goes in X. I need to increase the mouse or decrease the mouse sensitivity. I'm going to show you that in a bit. So if I right-click, I move in X, like so. Middle button will move the CV in the Y direction, like so. And of course, right-clicking and moving will move the CV up and down, like so. I showed you before mouse sensitivity. That's one very important feature here. We can set the sensitivity of the mouse down to 1 and up to, I think, 1,000 or something. And that would move the CV 1,000th of a millimeter or something like that. Very, very sensitive. 250 is plenty enough. You can barely see it moving when I move the mouse around. So it becomes very, very sensitive, and we can make very, very tiny movements of these CVs using the mouse sensitivity setting right here. Let's set that to, I don't know, about 40. Another great tool here is this one, which lets you slide a CV along one of the whole lines. So if I hit slide there, we get the arrows here, which allows us to slide a CV along this line right here, or the other surrounding line. So I click that arrow, I slide down there, and if I click that one activated, I slide along that line. Another terrific one, which we are going to need right now, is this one, which says projected. So we go to project and pick a different CV, for instance, this one right here. We can actually project this CV onto this line between those two CVs. Because what we actually want to do in order to obtain tangency between these two surfaces is to place this CV, this one, and that one along one line. And this CV, that one, and that one along one mutual line. And also these three CVs needs to be on the same line in order to obtain tangency between the surfaces. Let's try it and see. So what I did was I picked a CV right there, and then I hit projected, and then I am going to pick this line right here and watch what happens. Now that one, and that one lines up along this line between those two CVs. And you can already see that this fence here is lower at this point. So I think we are onto something good here. Let's try it with this one right here and click on the line here. Now these three CVs appears to be sharing a common line as well. And you can also see that the fence is going down to just about 0 in the end here. So we repeat that for the third CV right there and click this line here. And it is then projected onto this line between these two control vertices. Now, if we notice what just happened with our analysis is that the yellow T just turned into a yellow C. That means that we no longer have a tangency error between these surfaces. However, we do have a slight curvature error between the surfaces. That can easily be shown by bringing on the zebra shader onto it, I hope. Yeah, we can see there is a slight sharp corner between these lines. If I increase the sensitivity of this, we will probably be able to see it even clearer. Repeats, where is it? Right there. Yeah. Here you can see that they're not smooth in the transition here. They are connected. The reflections are connected, but we have something going on here, and that is the curvature error that I was talking about earlier. We need to fix that as well. So how do we approach this? We know that curvature is affected by this row of CVs, but also by the third row of CVs right here. I'm going to try the slide tool and work with these. So I go to XformCV, hit the space bar, and pick my first CV right there and go slide, which gives me an option of 4 different directions to slide the CV in. Now I know that in order to maintain the tangency between the surfaces, I can only slide this CV along this mutual line right here. So my only real option here is to click that arrow and let it slide along this line here. So let's start working really carefully with this one and see what happens to the analysis. So if I move it slightly away, I can see that my curvature error is actually increasing. So I probably need to go the other way. So let's try that and see if we can bring it down. Oh yeah, it's coming down at 0.2, 0.19, 0.18. And as you can see, the point of the greatest error has now moved from this area to this area, which leads me to think I need to work with this CV instead. And as before, I let it slide on this line right here and see what that does. I bring that one slightly closer as well. And as you can see, it's going down, 0.15. Still going down, so I bring it even closer. Oops, now the error has moved back here, so I go back to this CV and I bring it closer. And now it's over here. Keep bringing it closer. As long as we're going down, we're good. Move it to that one. Bring that one in slightly. We are getting closer, ladies and gentlemen. 0.11 now. We want to go under 0.1. And there we have it. So by using the XformCVTool, we can easily control our movements of the CV points. And as you just saw, sometimes it requires very, very small adjustments in order to achieve the so highly desired curvature continuity between the surfaces. What did we just do? Let me slightly repeat it for you. We had the XformCVTool right there, and the hidden menu, which is under the space bar right there. In this menu, we have a selection menu and the inner circle here, where we can select either a single CV or a hull. The outer circle represents the number of opportunities we have to move the CVs around. So here we have the coordinate axis, for instance. Here we have the slide function where you slide along a line. Next one is projected. We can project the CV onto a line. I didn't mention these, but this one is nice too. It moves the CV in the normal direction of the surface or the curve. You can work with curves with this tool as well. And there is a couple of other things that we don't cover here. Also, I showed you a way of setting the mouse sensitivity. You can set it up to at least 1000, and then you can move the CV in very, very small steps. And that was all for today, folks. I hope to see you soon again. Thank you for listening.